We practiced 8 today, and I feel like that our kids are making progress. You know, I love their energy. You know, I love the way they're raking up the ball to try and create takeaways, and that's something that we obviously emphasize. So, you know, takeaways, tackling, and effort are the cornerstones of our defense. So I feel like we're making progress in those areas. Didn't think we tackled the way we need to today in every situation. So I don't want any missed tackles. So, but we're obviously going to work on that every single opportunity we have, with pads on and with pads off, to be able to get better. So, what I love the kids, the attitude. You know, it's one thing they completely control, as well as the effort piece. And so, you know, I'm really, really pleased with that.
Is there any philosophy you have about tackling? I mean, last year they talked about incorporating some of the stuff that Pete was doing out with the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
Any particular philosophy you like?
Yeah, we're a leverage tackle team as well. I think that in order to be able to create a game that needs to be played the way it's best for our players and their safety and their long-term health, I think is a critical piece. You know, so I believe in that, and so we're going to leverage the football. We're going to keep our head out of that tackle and do a great job of understanding, you know, where the ball is and where I'm going to place my leverage. And to me, that's I think it makes you a better tackler, as well as safer for our guys. You know, so to me, it's all about what's best for them. But fortunately, in this situation, I think it helps us as well, because I think we're better in space, which is where the game is played a lot now. So that's our philosophy.
How do you sort of approach an offense like that, as prevalent as they've kind of become in college football?
You know, I've been the last 7 years, every place I've been, it's been that kind of style of offense. You know, so you basically just get used to preparing for that. You install that way, you practice that way. Our whole communication system is built for that. Our check system is built for that. So actually, we have to adjust when they don't go no huddle and when they don't go fast. That, to me, is different. You know, so which is kind of crazy that we come to that point to where it used to be. We don't even, you know, used to teach the huddle day one, you go through. We don't ever do that. We don't even get in huddle ever, except unless we're on the sideline talking to them. So I think there's no question that gives us an advantage. And I love going against it. It doesn't make me feel stressed or uncomfortable having to prepare for it. But obviously, we got to get our kids ready. You know, it's about how quickly you get the calls in. Because to me, you get your feet set, you get your eyes right, you play football. And when they go fast, those things break down. And that gives the offense an advantage. And so for me, it's very comfortable for us. And it's definitely the time at Ole Miss and even at last year at South Florida, we were a no-huddle tempo offense there as well. So that helps. And then obviously you're going to go against some teams that will slow down a little bit and honk it at you. So we got to do both.
So how pleased are you with the way the linebackers have adjusted to having two in the world now instead of playing with two?
Yeah, you know, I think that if you ask them, which I know you have at times, and I think they really like it. They like the way that we set up our keys and reads, because I just want them to play fast. You know, as you know, the previous question about the no tempo and the no huddle, or the tempo offenses that aren't huddling, you know, their role increases as linebackers, because obviously, you know, the game has been put in the hands of players when we're not able to, you know, be on the field. Obviously, there's no, you know, time to communicate as much as we used to be able to communicate, so they got to make split-second decisions. So to me, getting those guys to play fast and comfortable in their checks and their keys and reads is critical. So we got to make it as simple as possible, but at the same time, they got to talk. And so that's kind of been our emphasis, is getting them to speak with confidence, speak loudly, and to be able to run the defense. And so I've been pleased with them. You know, I think, you know, Tigre and Marcus and Damian and all those guys have really stepped up, and Chris and Raekwon. And so I just feel like it's been a gradual process for them, but I've been pleased with their progress.
Well, with the Husky position, how pleased are you with the progress that you've seen there?
Yeah, you know, that's the one, as we've said before, this is probably the most new for our guys, and the techniques that they have to play from it. So, you know, I think, you know, Zeke's done a good job, and it's been new. He missed all spring, so it's been hard to kind of, you know, didn't know a lot about him going into fall camp, and I just feel like that he's making progress. He's getting more comfortable in his reads and his drops and getting his eyes right, and also, you know, Marcelino Ball is a new guy that's come in here as a true freshman that has done a lot of great things. You know, to me, it's about production. You know, we go through and we rank their production and keep track of it, and how many times that they get their hands on the ball and rake at the ball and make plays, and those guys are showing up, you know, and they're getting in space and they're being able to read and react and to be able to play against the run. So, you know, obviously Jamie Thompson's been out. He's a guy that we're counting on to be able to be in the mix as well there. We just got to get him healthy so we can get him on the field.
A lot of people have brought up Marcelino Ball, just kind of what's allowed him to adapt so quickly, particularly at that position for a freshman?
Well, when we recruited him, you know, and he was one of the guys that those last few weeks when I was here for 2 weeks before signing day, and he was my major priority, you know. And matter of fact, we joked when he got him here. I spent an hour on the phone with him right before signing day, just trying to just press and get him because we weren't sure what he was going to do and everything. So we felt like he was a critical piece. Felt like he had the skill set from watching him in high school to play that position, and it's obviously true, you know. So he brings the confidence. You know, obviously he's still young, he makes mistakes, but you know, he has an edge about him, you know, and he expects to make plays and he expects to be the guy, and so, you know, he's competing. And for a guy that just got here, you know, he's been one that I would say that's gotten people's attention, you know, by the way he came with a mindset to come and play.
He comes from a football family. Do you think having that kind of, you know, that helps with the mindset and the confidence?
Absolutely. There's no question. And I think that because what happens is that's the expectation. I mean, he didn't come here to redshirt. I mean, he came here from day one to play. And that's what we want all our guys to do. You know,
He's just 17, right?
No doubt. He's young. Yeah, he really should be a senior, coming ready to play a senior of high school, you know. So, but his body doesn't look like that, you know. So, but bottom line is, I think having the genes that way, and his dad and his brothers, and the level they were able to play at, and I just think that creates a level of expectation that he's been raised around, and I think it makes a big difference.
Last week at media day, a lot of defensive guys talked about having a motivation, a chip on their shoulder. I know it's your first year, but because of the struggles in the past, the defense, is that something, do you like that? Do you kind of encourage that?
Absolutely. When we talk about, there's 3 key things that we want to have as our mentality, and one of them is having an edge. And we have 3 sub-points below that, and underneath that is to have a chip on your shoulder and something to prove. And so day one, I've challenged them about that. And I haven't been afraid to call out the pass. And I told him, I said, I have to own the pass because I'm here. And so the bottom line is that should motivate us. We should have a chip on our shoulder. We do have something to prove, and we want to be the reason. We want to be the reason in the fourth quarter why we win the game. And we know that hasn't always been the case. And so it's a big motivation for our guys. We're going to talk about it all the time, and I want to make sure they understand how critical it is in our mentality and how we're going to approach the game.